All right, so welcome back. If you're joining us, we appreciate it. Thanks so much. And we're going to get for the second half of the session here. As we come into the party, so I'm going to go ahead. Party are being escorted, right, brought by Malrum Flamebelch, Commander Malrum Flamebelch, as well as the Duergar that are around you, and you're being brought to back to the corridor, back where your weapons and your armor were. Now, I'm going to go ahead and shift this to the actual corridor map to kind of signify that. And a good deal of time has actually transitioned through the conversation as well as just traversing this particular corridor and area, putting it into the afternoon and going to the evening at this point. You all are again losing track of that time, though. It's difficult to really understand simply because you've been in the depths of darkness for so long, right? And you kind of lose that sense of presence without light. As you come into the corridor, Malrim immediately, right, moves the lever. The grate kind of reforms. You still have these particular figures on top of the towers. No new presence was really placed or put here. In addition to what was already here, they're just simply reassuming the post. After that is done, they open a chest up with many of your armaments, some of which are actually just hanging up on the pegs, with additional of these Duergar armaments, which are like, shields and war picks and javelins and whatnot, crossbows and crossbows. So they're just grabbing the items off of there, and they don't even like hand them to you. They escort you across, and then they just start throwing it at your lap, at your feet, right? Just kind of chuck it across the grating, right? So it's kind of going across and making sure it doesn't land in the grating and slip through, but they're just kind of shucky and heaving it and showcasing that they two things maybe showcasing with this, that they understand your skill and capabilities, respecting that, and also wanting to maintain a presence about the actual grate, using it as a point that they can simply create a terrain that you are not capable of passing easily, right? And make it difficult in case there's retaliation of some kind. So still understanding that a couple of these things. After that is done, I'm going to go and unpause it. Because the talk, move around, whatnot. Because at this
Yeah.
stage, Malrim, has the metal gate closed. You go across, tosses the things, and after that is done, pulls the lever again as the metal grate goes back underneath the towers and speaks. So they begin to kind of funnel into the kind of the backdrop of the actual towers here, and they're kind of talking. And one individual actually kind of picks something up and then slowly begins to disappear going down the corridor. Malrim is just staring at you all.
Did I get both my daggers back?
Yep.
I yell over
one?
the grate. Oh wait, what?
Just making sure that, including the Darksteel one.
Yep.
Okay.
I yell over the gate at Malrum, like, hey, Malrum, can you really belch flames?
Just stares at you, doesn't say anything.
Damn it.
I don't think he likes you.
Give him time.
I think
Let's
we
go
should
home.
probably head back.
So
As
as
we're
we're
walking-
walking, go ahead.
Me and Malder in complete unison. I just wanted to turn to the party and say, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's the same necklace.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing that happened with the Duke happened to me just now. When I went up to him, the urge was uncontrollable. Like, it was primal almost. I was able to control myself this time because I've experienced it before, but I didn't want to reveal anything because it didn't seem like we were going to get anything more from him anyway.
Well, I suppose the good news is if we kill the Duke, you can take his necklace and find out what happens.
Rue.
That's the other thing. He said that it was a gift, right? The Duke said that he was given it, or
He originally said that it was payment, and then he later stated that it was a family heirloom. And then he backpedaled that into saying it was a family heirloom that was originally received as payment.
Yeah, he's a
He
shifty
said it.
one.
Zone of truth his ass.
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of deceptions, do any of you more magic acquainted people recognize what it was that was cast upon us when we struck that final deal?
Don't think so. Would
Yeah, I was
we?
about to say, would I know?
Roll
Would I
arcane,
even know?
roll an arcane check.
Okay. Oh.
Can I try too, even though it's not my thing?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
It really
Yeah.
isn't your thing.
Well, root.
Virus to 20, it seems they used a silence spell.
The silence spell?
Correct.
What did he say while we were in that spell?
He basically just agreed to my additional add to the bargain that they would leave the miners alone.
What does the silence spell do? Like, what's its effect?
It just
Exactly.
makes everything silent inside the zone.
Hmm.
Oh, anything verbal.
So maybe he
But
was
we were
just
able
tired
to
of us.
hear him in our minds then, right? Because they can telepathically communicate, or how did we hear him?
No,
Well, he wasn't in the zone.
Inside the bubble, we can talk to him, right? But then
Well,
everything outside the bubble?
It's exactly like, was that the smart, was it with Steve Carell, right? The cone of silence. But it's a much larger cone, and,
Yeah.
and
He just wanted
everyone's
us to shut
inside
up.
of the same cone.
Yeah, he
So
just wanted us
every-
to shut up while he was getting
So,
yelled.
so different from the spell.
So it is the spell. A spell forms essentially a bubble where the auditory is not leaving the bubble and no auditory is entering the bubble. So it's essentially creating an area that what words were spoken inside would not leave.
Okay.
Oh, maybe he didn't want anyone else to hear that he agreed to our terms.
Hmm.
I have a feeling because of their status with withholding their honor that him even agreeing with surface dwellers might hurt his standing with his people.
Or he didn't want Voltac to know.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Yeah, I
Cool.
don't-
Okay. Well, excellent. That's he had seemed forthright and honest, but I wanted to make sure he wasn't trying to deceive us.
I mean, that's one thing you can give him as opposed to the Duke, is that the Duke has no truthful intentions in anything he says. That's easy
Agreed.
to tell.
let's,
I actually
let's-
like these dwarves now.
Let's get out of here, and then we can talk about this more.
Fair.
I'm assuming you're talking as we're going.
Yeah,
It's- This is gonna be a
Talking
long.
along,
This is
yeah.
gonna be a long trek.
Interesting.
Long.
Few hours.
The other thing is,
Okay,
if
I
you
didn't
guys
realize.
want to,
Hi, baby.
I could get answers out of the Duke, but we have to be ready for the consequences of those actions.
Yeah, we'll
Well,
I think-
assuming he doesn't just push it out.
I want to try to read the Duke's mind and see what I can pull from it. But I
Here's-
want to talk to
Here's, I
Palu
think, our
first.
best poor point. I think, forgive me for intruding, but this is what I believe to be the best course of action. Talk to Paylud, like you said. We tell him what we found, because that is our responsibility as being hired by him. Then we go speak to the Duke in the morning. Report to him what we found. Try with no magical or physical means to gain information from him. And if we're not happy with the answer, we take things into our own hands.
That is one approach. However, that does leave us more vulnerable. The other option would be we shock and awe, kick in the door, take over the situation, allow him time to speak. If we don't like what he says, he dies.
Yeah, but
Well,
probably
let's see what Palu has to say before
Yeah.
we make this plan.
Yeah, because if we
Don't-
just do the shock and awe version without having, I don't know, more to go on, we just look like we just came from the underground and just killed the Duke for no reason.
Listen,
I agree with Maldor.
I don't think it's smart to mention the hit on the Duke to Palu whatsoever.
We could
No,
perhaps
I think it's-
massage that conversation in such a way that it was a
I
suggestion
think-
that if the Duke was not here, it would be advantageous.
I think any
I
mention
think we should
regarding the
be
Duke.
honest with Palu 100%.
Yeah, I think we need to tell him he hired us to do a job, and the job has now turned us into
Personally, I would frame any mention of the Duke, or I mean the Duke situation. Like I would frame it more like they strongly do not like the Duke specifically.
My thing is, if he
Like,
catches
don't-
any wind of us turning coat on them, his loyalty lies with the Duke.
No,
No, it
I
doesn't.
would disagree.
No, he doesn't.
He said
Yeah.
the Duke out of necessity and not like him. He even told us openly that the Duke has been terrible for his business.
Yeah, his loyalty is like more like the mining company itself first, whose loyalty is to the Empire, and
I
then
mean, I
the
think-
Duke is like an outside factor to that.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought
I
he
would
is the
approach.
mining
I
company.
misunderstood because I wasn't
Yeah,
here
it was
for the
it was
initial
basically
conversation.
it was basically Palu's town, and then the Duke came in. It was appointed by some random lord in the Empire, and it just kind of squatted on the town and started doing dumb shit.
Oh, okay,
Um,
never mind.
But
I
I would
was
approach
yeah.
it.
definitely in the wrong impression. I
Yeah,
apologize.
no, I would approach it and simply tell Palu that we have evidence potentially that the Duke is.
Well,
working
I wouldn't
against
say we
town.
have evidence because we don't.
Well, potentially. We have a witness.
We
However
have
ugly it is,
accusations.
Oh, we'll draw the evidence out of him one way or another
The
before
point
his
is-
head leaves his shoulders.
Yeah, he should
Yeah,
know that
basically-
the Duke is potentially working against him in the town.
Yeah,
and then
just
we can
like
gauge
simply-
his reaction.
like don't mention the whole the prince wants us to kill the Duke part, but everything else, mainly that
See,
they don't like the Duke
I mean, we
because
can-
they feel he traitor.
Instead of saying the prince wants us to kill the Duke, we can just say the prince wants the Duke gone.
Yeah, like
It won't
Don't-
be super sneaky. We're gonna have to go back through the mine carrying the Duke's head, just to clarify.
yeah, like
I mean, I suppose we
my
could put it in a bloody bag or something, but
like my approach would be don't lie at all. Just leave out the they want us to kill the Duke part.
Sure. I mean,
All right, well, we'll just see how Palu reacts, you know?
he'll be too horny to notice the murder. It's fine.
Oh, pfft.
He's a necrophiliac.
Hands.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
Oh no, that's horrible. Okay, well, considering, I mean, I really don't know Palu that well because I wasn't here for the first conversation, but
yeah.
someone else can take the lead on this one for sure.
Did we want to immediately talk to Palu, or do we want to take a
I
night?
mean, we might as
No,
well.
I
We're
would
walking right
immediately
past
talk
his
to Palu.
office. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you owe him a massage, I believe.
Oh, you do.
Oh, yeah.
You do owe him a massage.
And he's gonna owe us
those
gold.
healers' hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am very dexterous.
Yeah, we could spin this into a bonus. We've investigated the issue, which gives us the payoff. But if we remove the Duke, I feel like that's bonus territory.
Oh, if we save his mining company
Yeah,
and
the
his
whole damn
miners,
town, yeah.
and ensure the safety of his caravans as well, this man's
Yeah.
gonna pay. He's
Yeah,
gonna
it was-
pay.
Let's see what we can do here.
I guess another question would be then. I mean, obviously we're all going to be talking to Palu, but who wants to be the main? So we're not all talking at him at the same time. Who wants to actually be the main talker?
Let's let Varys do it. He was gagged that whole time, so he needs to
He's gotta
Tap
get
on the
it out.
back. Yeah,
he
buddy,
needs-
you take
needs
the
to
main
stretch
stage.
his
Sure. I mean, I love
oratory skills.
I love Palo. And whenever they say Varys takes the main stage, I snap my fingers and we all instantly become clean. Like, let's do this. All right, let's do this.
Okay. So after a half an hour travel, it's a long time, right? So you've traversed through, having your conversations and taking your time. The potential in the towers don't do anything. You come to the camp, nothing has changed in the actual camp. They've made no motions of actually going and retrieving their dead. So you're noticing that that's all still there, and you continue to press forward. You come into the cavern, and that's when there are a guard. They've actually kind of made that exchange of the guard, and they've removed the barricade and actually put themselves in position of the actual cavern. And so you see them kind of on the crisscrossing the ground. They're playing cards. They're kind of doing certain things, eating some food, right, chilling. They have bullseye lanterns as well as regular lanterns, and they're just kind of in there. But probably about 12 or so of them. You notice as you immediately come in and they kind of stand upright. We don't need to role play that necessarily. kind of maybe tell them, hey, we're gonna go talk to Palu, right? We're gonna discuss some things and
Yeah,
whatnot.
make sure they don't go any further.
Yeah,
down the tunnel.
yeah.
That
Just
would be
maintain, continue what you're doing, right? Just kind of a status quo. No real reason to change or give them any sort of insight into anything. They're just there to maintain the tunnel that no one comes through. And even if things did come through, yeah,
That would have gone perfectly well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
um,
I do imagine that Maldor kind of comes out of the tunnel and just says "boo."
Yeah,
who's there? Who's there?
Like the echo, like the.
Oh yeah, the laugh.
Yeah.
Also, this is probably just me being paranoid, hopefully, but the Duke knew we were going down, and he knew what we might learn if we got to the prince. So we might want to be on the lookout for that.
That is why I was suggesting perhaps a surprise tactic with the Duke, because he may not have been expecting us to return, and when we do, he may be unhappy.
Yeah.
Maybe we talk to Palu, then go straight to the Duke's house and kick in the door.
Well, I wouldn't do that. At least not
Yeah.
tonight.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
I
what
think
Palu
showing up
says.
unannounced is definitely probably sufficient.
Yeah, let's do what Palu says.
Okay.
Or let's see what Palu says.
Agreed.
So
Daddy
Trin-
Palu.
yeah, so traversing out of the mine, right? Similar kind of people working. There's definitely exchange happening where individuals are coming in and out. As you're kind of coming up to the field house, certain ones are actually kind of wrapped up in their different kind of pelts and cloaks, wanting to keep warm, and they're actually checking the poster boards for assignments before they head in to work a night shift, right? To actually work over the night. So it's a little bit of a change happening here. And there's definitely kind of a little bit of a small chatter and whatnot is coming through here, as far as you can tell from some of the individuals towards the canopies, towards the south side of the field house. And then again, you have this kind of wind that's always steadily going through the particular area here. A little bit of snow, not too much, overcast and whatnot, so it's not horrible. The snowfall that's coming down, and as you kind of emerge, you may start making your way to the field house. So I went ahead on Palmston.
Alright. Let's do this.
Knock knock.
Palu, they're back. Swing. It's the hand. Door shuts. Palu currently eating a few bits of cheese, bread, and other dried fruits, sipping on a kind of a silverish goblet of some kind filled with wine. Currently reading a light book. The book itself, The Romance Between the Tree and the Lover. Snaps the book, kicks the legs down off the desk. Ah! Ooh, hello, welcome back. So you all have arrived in fine pieces. You see? Makes way towards Zeph. Let me see those hands.
Soft.
They're untouched.
Ooh, a little dirty, a little worse for wear. That's no worries there.
When
Pulls
he
a-
says a little dirty, I'm gonna prestidigitation all the dirt off.
I love it.
Ooh, now you're a nice clean boy, aren't you? Can't wait to dirty you up later. Well,
I love
I'm
this
sure
guy.
you'll be wanting your coin, but of course, what news do you have for me? Why are they
The
doing what they're
payload-
doing?
We have a lot, actually. Let me. Is there any seats in here?
Yeah,
so
you
I
should
can
sit.
take.
Oh, and wine. We're
Yes.
gonna need wine for this combo.
Wine and seats. Well, I don't necessarily have a whole lot here to myself, but 1 second. Next to the door opens.
Oh, Pelu, before you go.
Orvik! Chairs, please, and a table, maybe. Oh, and do hurry, please. Thank you. What the fuck? Yes, what?
It's fine. I was just going to say, perhaps keep the news of our return to yourself for now.
Oh, well, no one in the field house is. Thorvik isn't going to say much of anything. Why? What? Aren't you heroes of Harok?
We might not be for much longer. But,
I'll be right back.
We'll
Matter of
tell you
perspective.
everything.
I'll be right back. Let me go ahead and get a better bottle. Something good and fine for the occasion.
Thank you.
Quickly makes way up the steps.
He's calling the Duke right now. Burn his
How
house
the
down.
How the fuck are we gonna do this, dude? Oh, you see Varys like, whew, whew. He's
Just-
like
You
psyching
wanted
himself up.
this.
Just be
No,
honest, but with
I'm
as few
psyching
details
myself
as
up,
necessary.
Tegan. Let me do what I need to do.
He's in the mirror. He's like, "You're good enough, and you're smart enough."
I'm a fucking
Positive
I'm a fucking
affirmation.
son of the Lord. I've talked to important people before. I can do it again.
No, I'm gonna put some Shia LaBeouf. Just do it in your head right now.
Oh, a real
Okay, there we go.
table. That's awesome.
Nice.
I'm gonna send a message into his head and say your insecurities are showing.
How much telepathy do we have in this team?
A lot.
like everybody except me, I think.
And you're the
Well, I don't have
celestial
any.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeph doesn't have any telepathy at all.
Okay.
I just have dark vision.
A lot of it.
While Pelu is up, Thorvik has entered in, sits down at a large circular table, slams it down. See as Thorvik then moves the stools and sets them there loosely. They're crude, covered in dirt and other sorts of bit, and the miners sitting upon them, very weathered and decayed. Thorvik turns as Pelu makes way down the stairs. Now is wearing a loose green and silverish robe across, revealing a large plumage of chest hair, and still wearing the chapeau upon the head with the feather. It's tied, very tied. The robe is loosely. This is like a bathrobe by a piece
Yes.
of cloth that wraps around in a bow tie and has tall black leather boots on to the knees. Slowly striking
Give me a
down
face.
with a big bottle
a
of
face.
wine that is labeled in gnomish language. Thorvik lowers the head. Anything else, Pelu? No, Thorvik. That is fine. Make yourself scarce, but not too far away that I can call you for something else. Yes. Swings the door open. Thorvik grumbles.
It's gonna be a weird conversation.
So for those of us who speak Gnomish, what does the bottle say?
Yeah, I want to know.
I don't know
So
if I speak Gnomish.
it appears to speak towards a family of gnomes, particularly in Ethrina, in a place called Hayama Palume. That's what it loosely translates to, which is actually, it goes from Elvish to Gnomish, right, and then to a family. And it's just kind of states the actual winery in this particular place.
Oh, okay.
And from the age, as far as the numbers you can tell, the particular wine is 16 years.
Nice.
Nice.
He is rocking a full-on like Puss in Boots meets Hugh Hefner right now.
Cracks the bottle open. Ooh, lovely. Grabs different metallic mugs out from the kitchenette. Only has the one silver goblet. Begins to pour. And slowly realizes that's easier just to carry the mugs. Carries the mugs over. Sets them down loosely. And then begins to fill them one by one, walking
Seeing
around.
that the table and chairs are kind
Ooh.
of dirty, press the digitation, all of it clean. Make sure Pelu's place doesn't get dirty.
Slowly, one by one, after filling your mugs, is loosely dragging the hand, touching your shoulders and your backs and things. Walk around, loosely stops at Zeph and slowly squeezes the right thigh. Apologies, don't rude me. after finishing, cycles back around, grabs a wheel of cheese, bread, other sorts of things, and then comes back, and then sits down, sleep.
Okay, Bela. We went into those mines and we traveled very deeply. There is a civilization of subterranean dwarves. They are very disciplined, very organized. Almost like a if you went to like a small domain or kingdom, it's kind of how they function. We battled with some of them, and then we negotiated a talk with the leader, who was a prince. I'm blanking on the prince's name. Do y'all
Stonefist.
remember?
It was Prince
Yeah.
Grawl Stonefist.
Yeah, Prince Scrawl Stonefist.
Out of Clan Stonefist.
And he wanted us to carry out a deed to get rid of the Duke somehow. Do you know why they would hate the Duke in particular?
I don't know. That sounds very odd.
I think that he would be interested to know that the Duke was apparently in the employ of the same entity that seems to be running the show for the dwarves, and they consider him a traitor for allowing your miners into their territory, allowing us to interrupt their work. He
He
effectively
very
sold out the town, it sounds like.
he very descriptively said the Duke betrayed them by not killing us and allowing us to go deep into the mines.
Well, honestly, I have really no idea what you're talking about. I thought this would be more or less, hey, they were here to take the ore and that was it. But this has gotten far more complicated than I thought.
Yes.
I was afraid that was going to be your answer.
Yes.
The
well,
good news is we have secured a potential deal wherein your operations could continue unabated and your caravans would be guaranteed safety through the passage.
so this clan has been responsible for why the caravans have not been making it.
Yes, they admitted to that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those caravanners are dead.
Yes.
Oh.
He did say they knew nothing about
Brutes.
missing surveyors.
Oh, the prospectors. Huh.
Yes.
Let's see. Well, I'm not one to bargain with the lives of many. They are responsible for the caravans being attacked, then I would accept whatever bargain they arranged.
The bargain is to remove the Duke as a thorn in their side.
What did you just say?
Remove part of the Duke.
They want the Duke to not be their problem anymore.
They want you to kill the Duke.
That's what they want.
They want you to murder Umbri and Arillo.
Yes.
You could say that. I didn't.
Hence the issue.
It may not be
Nice.
murder, justice.
Psycho goes over the wardrobe. Opens
Can
it,
I?
pulls out a pipe, lights it with
I
a
mean-
hand, roughly.
Can I do an insight check real quick to determine whether his reaction is either out of concern for the Duke or concern for the consequences of our actions?
Just the wardrobe comes back, still smoking. Roll insight.
And can I do an insight to see if this is all like a genuine thing, or is he just like playing it up?
Go ahead and roll insight.
I don't suppose it would be too much for
We
me
don't
to
know
go, so.
shit.
There's, I mean, seems to be typical. Seems like typical Pelu Riza.
Right. Yeah.
Tegan's insight, it again seems like typical Pelu Riza. Does not seem to be unforthcoming or hiding any truth or anything. He's taking the words as they're spoken and then reacting to them in kind.
Would it be too much to ask if I could do also?
How many insight checks can we get? Can we get another one, huh? You get an insight check. You
Do
get
I
an
hear
insight check.
4? Do I hear 5?
Everyone gets
We
insight.
don't know shit. That's fair.
We don't know shit.
He's way too sexy to get a read on.
Yeah.
He's a smooth operator. You
Smooth
can't
op.
stop staring at the chest hair.
So I'm
Those
gonna
thigh-high boots.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Still don't know
just can't be
shit.
done.
This is
Too
what
sexy.
the fine halfling green. I have had this in store for some time. Here, everyone
Oh,
take
nice.
it.
He puff passed. That's great.
There you go. I'll pass this over to you, Tegan.
Yeah, I definitely
Alright,
think we all need that.
Taylor.
Tegan goes ahead and passes it on to Maldor. He does it.
all right, Pablo, you gotta keep us informed here, man. What's going on in your head?
Well, I mean, I'm a brutally honest number crunching gnome. That's really my forte. If one life is what needs to be done for the good of many, I mean, maybe that is what has to happen.
Well, can you tell us more about the Duke himself? Like when he first arrived, when he was first appointed or whatnot? Like anything to be told there?
Well, the Duke. I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, the Duke himself, Duke Umbrian Rillo, arrived, I would have to say, too long ago. I mean, this is a year, maybe a few more months after that. And really, in that time, just to spend really building the manor. I mean, a good chunk of it anyways, and bringing apart multiple pieces of equipment and materials. All we were told was by a piece of paper, signed and ordained by Lord Down for Law, and even had the king's signature on it, King Railroad Telephone. I have a copy of it, kept away.
Can we look
And-
at it?
No, you may not. You can take my word for it. Thank you.
I think
No,
his
I was-
concern
I
was
was-
that it may not have been genuine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alec, I don't doubt you.
Oh, it is genuine. Let me assure you, it's genuine. So, as this has been given to me, I took it in stride. I said, no worries. And then nothing will change. Yes, you want the mine to operate 24/7. I'll just have to get more employees, more workers. It'll be fine. It'll be great. And I'm delivering now to a single person. Right? I don't have a numerous amounts of outfits. I don't have to deal with the dead gosh anymore. It's just a great time. You know what I'm saying? Well, in the short span that the Duke has been here, I've had to cut wages. I've had to do a lot of extra things to keep my workers happy and satisfied. And it's put a great strain on the village. If it had not been for Barlow Grick and his fine Barlow's special in that tavern of his, keeping the cheery old dwarf, the mood about the whole village would have gone to rot. I can almost assure you that. And this mine most likely would have been closed. Wouldn't have had anybody to work it. Why would anybody live here and get pennies on the... pennies? Copper on the silver.
Boss makes
So-
silver, I make a copper.
If he were to go away, presumably you don't have a lot of. He admitted to us himself he has very difficult time receiving audience at the palace. It sounds like his connections are not particularly good. If he were to go away, you could presumably just continue your operation with the added bonus of the carts no longer disappearing, and no one would be the wiser.
That is very true. That is exactly my thoughts indeed. I do not condone murdering somebody. I want to make that clear. I'm not going to be a part of this.
Nobody said murder. It's
No.
justice.
Hey, it's still, be clear, it's still murder. But murder can sometimes, occasionally, be justified.
Justice.
What we're looking for out of you, Pelu, is are you going to support us? Are you going to make sure that this doesn't all fall back on us, or
Well, I mean,
are we
I will-
kind of on our own here?
The Rock Mining Company will aid you in everything we can do. Of course, I will be on your side. But I will employ, always, if there is another way, not having to remove an individual, especially one of Orillo's standing and, well, appointed by royal figures, then that must be taken into consideration.
If we have a sneaking suspicion that the more we press into this matter, the more justifiable evidence will present itself for his removal. But the
if
issue,
this
I believe,
prince, Stonefist, you say, if it truly is that there is something nefarious going on, there must be evidence to that fact, yes?
Well,
Yeah,
that's what
I
we're hoping to
do
do,
possess-
because, like, Stonefist, for his part, seems steadfast that the end result be hit the Duke's head before him. How we get to that point, I think obviously we want to be sure and make sure there's evidence of that the Duke is actually not what he seems.
I personally struck this bargain. I intend to see it through, evidence notwithstanding. If we find evidence, that will be a grateful bonus. I took the path of least bloodshed. But-
Also, there is zero chance that we can kill that prince.
Well, that yeah, he is in a fortress surrounded by legions of
Absolutely
dwarves.
never.
But also, to my reckoning, since we've arrived here, the only person who has ever been dishonest to us is the Duke. Even this Prince of Dwarves has been very forthright and straightforward after we killed dozens of his people that he wished to stop the bloodshed, and that the problems with the Duke had to do with the fact that the Duke's alignment was not what he presented himself to be. The issue at hand would be, presumably, with him gone, the town would likely fall into your domain. And so we would like to think that the town will be in good hands and won't come after us in retribution.
Well, of course, I will take care of the village. I'll run the company as I always have, and I will adhere to this order of delivering to Commander Wrangler Uku of Fort Frostbeard and run the mine 24/7. And I will do the best I can. What I can promise.
Listen, Pelu, what I think is going on, and this is just a suspicion, this is not proven by anything, is what I think is happening is the Duke is trying to play both sides, and he failed, and it's coming back for him. And it's affecting you and your workers.
Well,
And has resulted in the death of caravanners, which is unacceptable.
it's tragedy.
Also skipping forward a beat. Hopefully, after this is all resolved, there's potentially hope. I don't know how receptive the prince would be to it, but maybe there's trade possibility because we did confirm they do have Darksteel.
They are an honorable tribe, clan.
They're prideful people, and they are on. We went in there unarmed to talk to their leader, and they did not harm us.
He kept his word in every way. I would be careful treading there. They might be amenable to trade, but they clearly have a larger agenda, and getting in the way of that would justify violence in their eyes.
I'm more than eager to earn coin any which way that I possibly can. Of course, not at the jeopardy of others' lives. I do appreciate all of your work you've done here. I do enjoy that. It's been a pleasure having adventurers such as you folk coming in and really tackling the deed and getting it done. Now, what is the story we are telling here? Clearly, in my mind, if you have made your way to the outfit as such, and you have returned unscathed, and the word spreads that you have done this deed, surely the one aligned, if the Duke is truly aligned, and with this figure, this prince, whatever it is, this whole debacle, won't there be eyes watching you?
Yes, I believe so. Which is why I mentioned earlier to perhaps keep our return quiet for the moment.
Maybe we Maybe we stay the night here.
I was
Don't
gonna
go
say
back
if
to
we
the
were gonna
inn.
rest, we would
I
like to-
like that
yeah.
idea. Stay the night
Oh
here.
yeah, of course you
It's
do.
a good one.
No, of
Yes,
course.
but I do suggest in the morning we make straight way to the manor and deal with the issue at hand before he has time to prepare anything.
Question. Auril or Pelu. Getting my names mixed up here. Do you know of anyone relatively near the Duke that would know more about the Duke?
The only one that I would know more than me about the Duke is Elise Talmar. Elise arrived with the Duke. And it's from my conversations with the very beautiful girl, is that she actually was just a server in the Ripe Flagon tavern in Othema. The Duke arrived there, with many of his stagecoach and things, headed to Harok. He took a liking, and the services that she provided. I have talked with Elise on numerous occasions, clearly the envoy of the Duke, and much of the right hand, so to speak, of the Duke, in manners that pertain to the Duke wanting to sit on his fat, lazy ass. Elise is exquisite. She's very knowledgeable, and, she might add, does great work in calming one down of rather sticky situations. I've had to. She sent condolences and many words to many miners that have maybe lost a brother or sister or relative in the mine. Someone, an accident perhaps. Elise has always been there on the Duke's behalf, if that is not, who knows. And her words are always soothing and kind.
Could you perhaps come up with an excuse to invite her here?
I could get her here this very evening.
We should do that.
Are you sure?
Well, there will be two outcomes potentially. Either she is amenable, as I suspect she may be, or
I would wait
she
till the
is.
morning.
Well, if she's loyal, then we lock her up here until the deed is done.
Easy.
Maybe we call her over in the morning, and then we all head to the Dukes at the same time.
My thing is I think we'd be much better at getting information if things go south, if I'm able to get a night's rest.
That's fair. Yeah, we could do it in the
Yeah.
morning.
That's my take on the situation as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad that is your decision. Well, if there's no more talk of business, I say we party.
Sure.
Oh, the party at Pelu's.
Claps twice as you do. You see the rocks begin to change color. Different varieties. See Pelu make way, heading for the stairs. Slowly stops, turns. I'll be right back.
Oh
Walks
god.
up. On coming
Well,
down,
that-
is a small cask
that
over
went
the
well.
shoulder, and the other hand, a small crate filled with lotions and other things and perfumes. Slowly comes over. Well, which one of you is giving me a rub down, and for the rest of you, a nice, good, strong rub? Hmm?
Maldo's
Zeph,
just gonna
those healing hands?
go sit in the corner and lay his sword out in front of him and just kind of press to meditate.
No, none of you. My goodness. Oh, this.
You know what? I'll step up to the plate. Come here, buddy.
Come here, buddy.
Yes, do
I'm gonna
get
pull
that-
out my dragon chess set.
Get the spot right there. That's lovely.
Oh my god.
This is funny. Ugh.
Cass taps the rum barrel, the small rum. There's a couple different labels that are on it, and different things are etched into the wood, branded. Right, and it's very spiced and kind of exotic in a sense that just nothing really, these spices kind of relate to what you're used to in the combination, right? Kind of coming from all over, maybe combined. And as conversation kind of comes, you're drinking the rum, it's incredibly high in alcohol content. Continuing the rub down upon Pelu. Pelu is kind of relieves the bathrobe to unveil the hairy and quite pale shoulders. Lanky figure here, slight wiry as well. Continuing to rub down, Pelu takes off the hat and slowly it just closes the eyes and looks as you all are enjoying the rum. Yes, this came from a halfling known as Yardir. Fetches some of the finest rum throughout. Quite a contraband, if you ask him and me, anyway. Dalthars would not allow this in here. Not something so strong and so delicious.
Damn religious types.
As well, zealot fanatics do tend to call yourselves to that corner. But not everyone is like that way, isn't it? Reaches back and slowly taps your hand. Ooh, right there, that's good. To this stage, anybody having any more questions or wanting to do anything before we go to a long rest and close up the night?
What do you mean? A long rest.
Pain's
This
gonna
rest won't
recover.
be anything but long.
Oh no, Varus is gonna be up all night.
No, I can't. I got spells to replenish. Let the fighter do this.
I think Pela will help you replenish your spells.
Oh god.
So, as
yeah,
you all,
He's gonna feel very
Okay.
drained very soon.
so as the night comes to a close, depending on what you all do, Pelu does go to the stairs, proceeds to go upstairs and slowly turns. And if anybody would like to join me, and just walks up the stairs and goes up the loft, essentially where the bedchamber. At that
One
point,
never wonders what he wants.
One has to wonder. So as you set up your bedrolls, right, kind of doing a little kind of a camp out throughout here on the tiling. It's warm, it's nice, it's comfortable. It's not anything different really than the Frostdale Tavern might provide, given their arrangements, right? So, and it's safe, right? It's kind of a safe environment in a sense, being that far away from the village, not really having anybody that would know that you've kind of arrived, except for some of the workers, Pelu, and then the guard that are currently inside of the actual cavern still yet to kind of change, right? A shift going through the night. So, this stage, I'm going to advance the time. If anybody would like to do anything, they can always intercede. I'm going to kind of get it towards 6 a.m.-ish and just advance a little bit of time beyond that. Given that your whole task here would to get Elise, right? And so kind of coming to a time that might be suitable to attempt to fetch Elise. 6 a.m. is a little early for that. So.
Yes.
I will say that anybody sleeping downstairs noticed that Maldor slept really fitfully and might have even like shouted out a few times in his sleep.
Space hobos having nightmares.
yeah. Oh,
I didn't make that connection earlier that you were talking about him.
everyone just
That's
like
hilarious.
ignores, right?
That's probably normal, right?
You're not going to stab Varus again, are you?
Not without reason.
So Pelu now strides down, fully dressed, no longer in the bathroom. Got the chapeau, is adjusting it neatly and ordained, and the tunic and whatnot he usually wears. Ooh. Grabs a thing of perfume, sprays it a little bit, tucks it within the tunic in a small little pouch. Is everyone ready?
No.
No.
I'll prestidigitation myself clean. All the gunk from last night is gone.
The gunk.
Yeah, the gunk. That's what I'm gonna
Mhm.
call it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think.
Okay, so are we summoning Elise here and gonna talk to her before we do anything else?
Yeah.
Yes. I'll take my place by the door.
All right.
All right.
No worries. Motions to the door as the door swings open. Thorvik, my dear Thorvik. Oh. What is it, Pelu? May you be a dear, and please fetch Elise for me. I have a letter here to provide to her direct in the eyes for the Duke. A status update, if you will. And do tell, if the Duke is inquiring, that it is about a new vein that we have found, profitable beyond imagination, and I just need to get cleared for having hiring of 12 individuals, potentially from Lathema, yes? All right. Let's walk away. Bailey moves and shuts the door. She'll be here in a little while.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say, Zeph, this is for you. If you try to read into Elise, this might help you out, and I'll cast Fortune's Favor on him.
Definitely handy.
So if you cast it and you don't roll well, you can roll an additional d20.
Probably
And I
useful.
think you can take the higher roll.
Yeah, you choose which D20.
Choose the short to take.
Yeah, so
So this won't. I'm sure this won't come into play with her, but just for later, for when we talk with the Duke, I'm going to give Malder Vigilant Blessing again, since it will reset after a long rest.
Okay. So you're giving Maldor the initiative there, giving the advantage on initiative. Okay. All right. So Fortune's Favor is going to last an hour. There is a spell kind of cost to it. Is 100 gold pieces, which it consumes. Just an FYI. So it's a white pearl that actually consumes it during the spell casting. So just be mindful of that as you progress. So kind of gives you that luck for the hour, right? That is there. And so you can essentially be kind of intermix of what you're doing on the rolls. So an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, you can choose to get an additional d20, and you choose which one to use, right? And then when alternatively, if an attack roll is made against you, or like the chosen creature that gets the Fortune's Favor, it can dismiss the spell and its self, and then to roll a d20 and choose which of the d20s to use, the one it rolled or the one the attacker rolled. So you can kind of get a d20 out that you're rolling yourself, and then you can choose that to supplement, like replace the attacker's roll. And then that, if it's advantage or disadvantage, it's going to be applied to the original roll, right, of the two. And so I think it's a little bit complicated after that. Anyways.
Next hour should be interesting, because I still have my DM inspiration, too.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're choosing to do here. So Varys, you're using that on
Zeph.
Okay. So Zeph, you have Fortune's Favor. Okay.
Yeah, ideally, because you have the best insight, so.
Okay. And half an hour passes by after a period, kind of waiting. Pelu has gotten a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of dried food, a little bit of other sorts of things. More than welcome to, for you to eat, kind of lays out a few other things, kind of clears out the kitchenette, if you will, lays out on the table. Now kind of moves over, opens up a scroll, is kind of writing some things, taking notes, and whatnot, getting almost certain things kind of measured throughout the day. We have reached kind of the Thursday, right? So tomorrow is the day that this caravan is supposed to be shipping out, potentially. So it's kind of getting certain things arranged and put into order within the spell, or the scroll that they're probably writing.
Yeah, this is still the second to last, right?
To date, today is Thursday. Tomorrow will be Friday. The caravan leaves on Friday.
I mean, the second to last caravan before the closes.
Correct. Yeah, there will be
Yes.
one next
Okay.
week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a knock on the door. Hello. This is here. Door slowly swings open with the hand, and you see Elise kind of step in. Coming in, does a small curtsy. I won't do I won't do a description. I went through Elise's description prior. If you want to kind of a rehash or read her, I can go over that again. Just intervene, intercede. So Elise does have a little bit of warmer clothing, kind of a pelt over top, and it's made into kind of a cloak. So there's lots of wool and kind of hide that's there. It kind of comes into a cloak, and it slightly black to tan coloration, and then has kind of a chain right to kind of hold the garment together over the actual shoulder. And then underneath is wearing and similar clothing you've seen before, albeit just a little bit different color, suggesting that they have multiple outfits that are similar, just different colors of the outfit. The small curtsy comes in, looks towards you all. Pelu kind of swing the door shut. Takes unchains. You see immediately Pelu walks over, takes it, and then makes way to the wardrobe. Does not flick, does not do anything, just opens the wardrobe, nothing in it. And then hangs it within the wardrobe. Doesn't have any shelves, just little pegs, and maybe a shelf at the bottom. Then shuts the wardrobe with the coat inside. Pelu makes way to sit down in the chair, at least slowly makes way for the desk. Just looks around, doesn't say anything, but you all are here. Haley, it was brought to my attention that there would be a need to hire more workers for a new vein. Yes, of course. Yes. Well, there is another matter of business perhaps to attend to. Don't mean to be catching you off guard, but we needed to get you, I don't know, away from the man a little bit. Just turns around, looks to you all. As Pelu has literally just collapsed at this point. Breaks out the fan. Good with the lying, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
All right.
Pelu.
Thank you, Pelu. Elise. No, yeah, that's right. That's the right name, right? I'm not messing that up. Okay. Elise. Can I ask you, how long have you been with the Duke?
I have been with the Duke for a little bit of time, I imagine. In years. We're coming upon 2 soon. I met the Duke while he was staying at Bright Flag. I was a server there. He had stayed there for a number of weeks, and then from there he moved into the Falor Keep and was with audience with Lord Down Falor for a great number of weeks. And then upon leaving, offered to pay me a great sum of coin per week to work on his behalf as a servant.
Okay. So here is the issue. This is why we called you here. We went into those mines on Pelu's request to help the workers. The Duke allowed us to go, as I remember correctly. We went in there. We were engaged by a clan of subterranean dwarf-looking people. And when we were engaged, we eventually parlayed with them. We were brought before their prince. And their prince said that the Duke had betrayed them. And that by allowing us to go in there, he was betraying them. And that the price for that betrayal is his life. Now, we need more details to go on before we do anything. And we thought that we would ask you, since you are the closest person in the village, other than Pelu, to the Duke.
Well, this all sounds like story.
Do you find the Duke to be a trustworthy and honorable sort?
The Duke has done well to earn my trust, and simply put, hasn't done anything that would showcase that otherwise. Has it ever crossed your mind that perhaps the one stating this is merely to gain all benefits?
Well, that is why we're asking for more information, because we don't know anything about the Duke at all ourselves, so we're trying to get a better insight into the situation.
But he was very forthcoming and honest with us.
Yes, he could have killed us, simply. And he kept his word at every turn. And as after we had killed many of his people, he did not need to deal with us if he chose not to. The fact that he even knew the Duke's name, and that he had this expectation that he would not allow anyone into their territory, is enough reason to at least cause suspicion. Also, it would suggest that the Duke knew why these caravans were being attacked and going missing and did nothing about it.
My only response in placing myself as someone that you're acquiring information about, Master, had it not come to your attention that perhaps the removal of this Duke would remove any chance for a call to aid from Lord Thowland Valor?
He admitted to us himself that he has very difficult time gaining audience with anyone in that chain. It seems like his power is extremely limited. It took days to get a measure of guards into the mine to begin with.
Well, the guard that is here in the village is merely miners that we pay extra to give them some station to watch over. Never anticipated, I'd imagine, something like this could, well, be a thing. I mean, this seems quite extraordinary.
Have you ever had any indication that the Duke serves another master?
No, I have not.
Insight check on that.
I was about to say the same thing, actually.
Yep.
Can't use my thing. That
Yeah. You're giving yourself advantage, right? That's what Fortune's favor is. $14? Thought you were taking?
yeah. That's hoping for better though.
Okay. Taking the 14. Varys and Zeph seems to be honest and telling the truth.
Okay. Well, then what we would ask from you is that we could maybe gain audience with the Duke and speak to him about everything we've heard and see what he has to say.
Well, I will head back to the manor and I will speak with the Duke and I will grant you and hopefully grant you that audience. I will state that the disturbance from the last visit it cannot happen again. Best on your most humble and perfect selves, I'd imagine. And perhaps we can schedule something for this evening. Dinner, perhaps. I know the Duke is.
It's rather shifty and cold outside. We should escort you back.
I do not need to be escorted. I am perfectly capable of making my way to the manor. I come to the field house and speak with Pelu nearly 5 times a week, maybe even more. I do have to state that, and this is to be very clear about your intentions, towards Lucar positioned themselves at the door. Am I being taken captive?
No.
We have no quarrel with you. We simply do not wish the Duke to be alarmed to our presence just yet, in case these rumors turn out to be true.
Elise motions towards the wardrobe. Palu opens it, hands the cloak. Palu goes back to the chair, looking wide-eyed. Puts the cloak around, buttons down the chain. To the kitchenette, steps by and looks towards Zukar. Then if I'm not your prisoner, and as far as what you knows, the Duke and I are trustworthy, then I am free to leave, yes?
Lucar?
Pose one final question. Is your loyalty to the Duke or to his court? If Palu here were to pay you the same sum weekly, would you work in his service as you have for the Duke?
I have an arrangement, an agreement with the Duke, with my master, to serve.
Lucar, let her go.
I grumble.
Thank you. Opens the door and steps out. Shuts the door.
We have to go now.
Yep. We need to leave Palu, but thank you for everything.
My heart is beating so fast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a little rub down. Do stay safe now.
Yep.
Get
See
the
you.
wine. Where's the wine? Goes back to the kitchenette, begins to
I
dig.
think it was drank.
All right, let's go to the Duke's Manor.
Yeah, is it possible? Could we double time it, maybe around a different path than she would take, and try to get there at roughly the same time?
Yeah, that's what I would like as well. If that's
The
possible.
the difficult part about that is there's absolute no cover.
Right.
You're
Yeah, not so much trying to stealth, just trying to not let her get there way in advance of us.
Yeah, so you're basically, you would transition going down the switchback, so you kind of stay behind her a little bit, right? And then you would try to, instead of going to the village, you would try to go directly to the manor. But you come into the issue of the fact that there's no real entrenched path or a road, right? So you'd have to shovel through the snow. And then you'd be out in the expanse of the wind and the bluff, right? So it's possible. You can run it. You can move fast and try to get there, but will you be spotted by Elise as well as individuals? Yes. Will they do anything about it? That has yet to be seen. Okay. Still heading for the manor?
So
Maybe-
do we go reserve? Do we go? full
Let's
tilt?
just follow behind her like we're going to the village. And then when we get to the village, we'll just continue to follow her to the manor.
So we're just gonna creep it right.
We could
behind
just
her.
call out to her and tell her that tonight won't work, and we're coming along.
This needs to be a quick decision, right?
Yeah, I assume we're already walking as we're figuring out like how fast we want to walk.
Yeah, Elise is just in front of you, some odd feet, and just walking, headed back to the village.
If we lose sight of her, we need to go fast. Because I think she has more going on than she lets on.
I agree.
Yep. Okay.
And
let's,
I'm
let's
sorry
go.
I didn't pull the trigger on the zone of truth. I didn't want to escalate the situation any more than
No,
we had. But I
it's
feel like
fine.
it's,
Oh, we'll save that for the
It's fine.
Duke.
He's about to get his thoughts detected real hard.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
I
I'm
mean-
of a mind to just kick in the door, drop all those things, and just
Yeah, I think
See what we
that's
can
I
get
think
out of
that's
them.
the right move.
Yeah.
So let's just go.
Okay, so you're
We'll just
are you-
walk with her.
You're
Right?
walking with
we just
Elise.
walk with her. Yeah, we'll just walk with her rather
Yeah,
than
to the-
menacingly
to the
behind her.
town. Yeah.
Just say to her that we're coming along.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
You kind of press forward just a little bit to catch pace. Looks towards you at a glance as you begin to form. And transition over to the actual village map. cannot guarantee that the Duke will see you if you are hoping to follow along your audience so quickly.
Well, we have to try.
Yeah, it is understood, but it is a matter of great urgency.
Well, they're welcome to wait out on the path, and I will see what I can do.
Okay.
Make your way through the village. Hustle and bustle is apparent here. As the day and the morning get going, people are awake, people are moving, coming into the tavern, leaving the tavern. You know, just normal business in the village, as stated. Blacksmith hammering, 24/7 repairing tools, equipment, the bleeding of goats as you pass by the stables. The barracks itself, another change of actual guard. They're heading up to the mine right now, right intervals of times. You're now doing another change of shift. And eventually you reach the manor. You come onto that path, you're going on the cobbled stretch. I'm going to go and activate the map. As you're pulled to, you're staying there. You notice Elise moves within a groove of the actual kind of tunic they have, right? The dress kind of goes into a pocket, interior pocket space over by the hip. The right hip pulls out a key, grabs the key, and unlocks the door. So doing locks.
Going as soon as the door is
opens
unlocked,
it.
I'm blasting through it.
Okay.
Here we go.
You blast through. Elise stops, turns a little bit. What are you doing?
We need to speak with him now. Stay here. You will be safe. No harm will come to you, I swear it.
It's highly irregular, and it is not okay.
Many things in this
Elise.
life aren't.
Many lives are at stake right now. Not just your own or the Duke's. The people of this town and the miners are at threat here.
I'll be fetching guard. She makes way, she pushes past, goes towards the double doors, opens it, steps upon the rug. A small curtsy. Come into space. Duke is currently at the dining table eating breakfast. There's a brunch, kind of waffles and pancakes and syrups and fruit and other sorts of things. Champagne, mimosas. It's just a immaculate looking kind of, not a banquet per se, but just an ensemble of food in front. And you see the Duke is slowly moving, has a kind of a scroll unwheeled looking, kind of unfolds it, sits it down, looks, sees you all kind of push past, where at least it's kind of pushed past you, right? So you're kind of doing a little bit of a back and forth. The Duke now stands up, kind of cups the hand, wearing a very similar attire as you've seen before. Same kind of reddish tunic, if you will, and kind of clasps the hands, looks towards Elise, confused. He speaks. My master, Duke, I do not accept this. I did not bring them here. I told them that I would speak with you and fetch an audience, perhaps this evening for dinner, to discuss something that they believe is of great importance. Now, I do not believe that what they are here to do is of great sound mind and body. I will be fetching the guard. I will come with them post haste, my master. He begins to kind of bend the head just slightly. Now begins to go for the front door, pushing past all of you.
We have urgent matters to discuss, and it is important that we all speak plainly.
This is highly irregular, I do might add. I have never been intruded in my breakfast without a proper audience before.
The Echo up here is next to him, and is just going to tackle his ass.
Oh my god!
Yes.
When he tackles him, I'm gonna cast detect thoughts and try to get anything
I
about.
need everyone to roll initiatives.
Oh god,
Oh my god!
we're the bad guys. Oh no!
Oh my god! Maldor just like we already barged in. I thought we were gonna try to be civil first and then escalate, but no. Maldor's just like screw it.
I don't trust this guy.
All right,
did
so-
that roll at advantage? I tried to. And I
No,
don't
it
think
won't.
worked.
Yeah, it won't work. So go ahead and just roll again. Let's take whichever one's higher.
Okay, well, never mind.
So, as we come to this act of aggression, as your echo appears and goes into potentially grapple, right? Potentially kind of engage. The rest of you taken aback of what your party member has done. Everything's happening in these quick and fast motions. Before we get to the next sequence, that can indeed take time in the sequence, we will go ahead and conclude the session early. We get into anything else, because we will definitely push past our window of session time.
Every time
don't
we
wanna-
deal with this Duke, we end
It's
it.
always a cliffhanger.
Always a cliffhanger, and it's a good
Dude,
cliffhanger.
I thought we were gonna try to let him. Oh man, now we're just.
I love it. I love it. Honestly, though,
This is the only way we're
Yeah.
ever going to get an honest answer out of this guy.
you play loose and fast. You know, I like it.
Oh,
How do you think
man.
Maldor got where he is?
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
That was
Excellent.
So
Yeah.
I will go ahead and
Excellent.
calculate experience for you all. Hopefully, you're not too upset by the early cutoff. Hope it's
No, it's
purely
okay.
to
No,
save you
yeah,
all
it
the
makes
stress.
sense.
I don't want to end it in the middle of something and then be disappointed,
sure.
being like, oh, so
No.
it's a good cliffhanger. It's a good time to finish it here. I'm gonna go ahead and calculate experience points. If you do level up, okay, you will level up now. All right, so we're not gonna wait for the level up or whatever. You will level up now, and then you can adjust your spell and whatever if you get new spells and certain things like that. Okay, give me a second.
So
Gonna love
before
going into this with 2 attacks.
Okay.
Yeah. And we only need like 300 to level, so hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Real.
We did a lot of parlaying this session.
Yeah. That was interesting.
Surprisingly, we didn't have to roll any persuasions or intimidation.
Yeah, I think the prince and the general or whatever weren't having it. Like, it didn't really matter what you said. They were just like, yeah, this is what
Well,
we're doing.
They're so like stone-willed. There was no. It was either they got what they want at a price, or they weren't hearing any of it.
Yeah, somehow I beat the Duke in initiative with a natural 1.
I mean, he might not have the best decks.
Hi, buddy.
Which means he's probably good in something else.
Or he's just not good at anything. We're about to
And-
kill him.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, I already didn't trust him, and then we got potential evidence that we can't trust him. Like, there's no way I would stand.
Well, to be
Yeah,
fair, we didn't.
wrong.
To be fair, we haven't actually got any evidence. It's just someone's word.
Well, yeah, I mean that's more than we had before. But like I said, I already didn't trust him. I'm not going to wait for him. Maldor wouldn't wait for him to prove us wrong, right, before we do anything.
All right, so I have 988 experience each. That should put you at 7,183. That means you will be leveling up. If you're joining for the stream, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Group 7 appreciates it. And we hope to see you next week. All right.
Bum, ba-da-bum.
Everyone sound off. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
That was so awesome.